Turns out he was married. So hey everyone, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Or if you're new here, then hello, welcome. My name is LUNAROSE, because I am your British botanical bombshell. And for today's video, we are going to do a full-on storytime video telling you about the time that I found out my boyfriend was married and had kids before our second date. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so we need a little backstory to set the scene before we get into the juicy bits. Pretty much around 3 years ago is when this happened, and at the time I was living in Cambridge and I was working in animal surgery full-time, which is what I did before I started doing drag a lot more on social media. I used to work within animal surgery and I did that for around 6 years. So pretty much I was perusing on Grindr one night, as you do as a lonely single gay boy, and a relatively cute guy messaged me that was a faceless profile. Seems to just be a trend on Grindr, still is a thing on Grindr, and it drives me up the effing wall. But this guy started messaging me, telling me how pretty I was, all that kind of stuff, and I'm one of those people, if you don't have a face-to-face like meeting on Grindr, I'm not going to reply to you. So after about 4 messages, I think he got the hint and sent me a picture of his face. I thought he was cute. He was kind of, to me, I would say a 6 out of 10, which sometimes when you're in a certain mood for something, a 6 out of 10 is all that it needs. So pretty much I was like, cool, we'll meet up in like a week's time. He was relatively cute. By the way, his name was Alan. Yes, I am going to use his actual name in this video since he actually blocked me a couple of months ago on WhatsApp, and I was like, bitch, that's it. I'm talking about the story time now. I wasn't going to, but you brought this on yourself, Alan. But pretty much this guy, Alan, relatively cute, messaged me on Grindr, and I was working like full time, so it was kind of, I'll fit you in on an odd weekend when I'm not doing overtime, and we'll meet for our first date, we'll just have a chill like games night, that kind of thing. So anyway, I was talking to him for around 2 weeks before we met, and we was like messaging every day, sending Snapchats every day, kind of getting to know each other a little bit more before anything would occur. So pretty much it gets to like 2 weeks, and on a Sunday I had like the day off work. He was going to drive down to come see me, and we're just going to have a chill games night. We're going to play some board games, just kind of get to know each other a little bit. It wasn't like a straight up hook up only. It was like, we could be friends with benefits. Let's just see how it goes. We'll have a mini little like date and just, you know, see where the night takes us. So anyway, we have that night. Everything's all good and dandy. I'm not interested in him. I know that much, since I'm a very like, I know pretty much straight away if there's like chemistry or connection, but he was very into me and I wanted to have some friends outside of work. Like, my only friends that I had in Cambridge were my work colleagues, and outside of that I didn't hang out with anyone. I didn't like know anyone else, so it was kind of, we share enough similar interests. We had enough fun together. We played like games together, board games. He was very into like RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons, that kind of thing, and so was I. So it was kind of one of those things of, yeah, I'll definitely keep you as a like a friend with benefits. We'll get to know each other a lot more, and you know, it could blossom into something. I still to this day would say I was never like with him, but he was very into me, and that sometimes is, again, a thing that spurs things on to carry on. So anyway, we met up on this Sunday. We had like a really good night and we had some fun together. And anyway, then it gets to like Monday and like the day after work, he's messaging me, talking to me lots, and like still very interested, which, you know, as a like non-gender gender conforming kind of gender fluid person that does drag, all that kind of stuff, a lot of the time a guy wants to satisfy his curiosity, and then when you're not in drag or like not seen as femme presenting, that kind of thing, they lose interest because they enjoy like the fetish and the chase of that like taboo kind of moment. So anyway, we was talking all throughout that week, and I said, oh well, I'm free again like 2 weeks from now on the Sunday. We can meet up again and we'll have another like chill games night, that kind of thing. So it goes all throughout the week, just chatting, regular like conversation, all that kind of stuff. It gets to, I think it was the Thursday or the Friday before we was going to meet again on the Sunday. And I get like, I used to work in surgery, so I would have my phone on me, but I'd leave it in pre-op, and then obviously while I'm doing like anesthetic, scrubbed in, all that kind of stuff, I'm not checking my phone. So I can see and hear my phone, but I'm not actively on it since I'm not allowed, I'm working in surgery, the animals come first, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's in pre-op, and I was training a newer person to the post at that time called Sam. So me and Sam were like chatting. Obviously I told her like what happened like 2 weeks ago, and she's seen me messaging him in like the break room, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Sam's at the computer doing some like paperwork, ordering some like new anesthetics and drugs and all that kind of top up of the stock for like the week after. And she's like, your phone is going off like continuously. Like you've had like 15 Snapchats in the last like minute and a half. And I'm like, well, I'm scrubbed in. I'm not like touching my phone, which is dirty, and then re-scrubbing in, doing all that. No, it can wait. I'll check it when I finish work. Everybody knows that while I'm working, I'm not checking my phone. I'm at work. So anyway, it gets to that nighttime. I checked my phone and there is like, you know when someone sends you like paragraphs and you have to like flick through Snapchat and it's just like text, all of it. It was like pages and pages of text, but he also sent like a massive, like, I think it was like 4.5 minute voice note at the end of it. And yeah, in that voice note he revealed some details about himself, and pretty much the gist of it, I was sat listening to it and I was like, are you absolute... It was on the Thursday, because the Friday I told Sam at work. He kind of went through all these details and he was like, just to let you know, like, I feel like I should be upfront and honest. You're very upfront and honest with me. I really like you, but just to let you know, I'm still going, like, through a divorce, but I am technically married. I see my, like, wife, like, 3 or 4 days a week. We have 2 children together, and we kind of have split custody, so it kind of only worked that I could see you every, like, 2 weeks anyway, because I had the kids on the other weekend, and... yeah, I just thought I'd be upfront and honest and let you know that I'm still technically married. We're still kind of seeing each other, but we have split custody and I have 2 kids. And I just sat there like... I mean, I get why you wouldn't tell someone that from the get-go, but it was like one of the moments like, oh, fuck, that's a lot of information. Like, I'm not, again, I have... You guys are gonna like come for me in the comment section. I have dated married men before, knowing they're married. I have dated straight men, knowing that they have a girlfriend before, when you meet people on Grindr, that kind of thing. It's a relatively common thing. People seem to be very into trans women, and it is a sexual fantasy and fetish, but not someone they would stay with. So sometimes it's just like, okay, cool, he's a hot guy, fair enough. But I didn't know that was this case with this guy. So then me, in my head, I'm just like, well, what do I do? I'm not really all that interested in him. I would say he's attractive, we got on well. Maybe we'll just meet up again as like friends and we can like talk it all out. But pretty much I saw my friend Sam on Friday, the day after, and obviously we was chatting shit, as you do. We gossip before surgery starts and scrub in and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, he's a married guy. And she was like, what the fuck? What kind of people are out there where they would know they're married, still not like officially divorced, but go out and be sleeping with people and all that kind of stuff? And I'm like, girl, you have no idea the kind of people that you can find on Grindr. Like, we'll just say that. She was a straight woman in a relationship, and I was like, you have no idea the intricacies, fetishes, and things that can occur on Grindr that you would only find within like the LGBT plus community. But yeah, I actually met up with this guy then on the Sunday. We kind of talked things out, and I was like, well, genuinely, I am not really after a relationship. Like, I've been single almost 10 years. Like, I will have a friend with benefits, that kind of thing, but I'm not after putting it on Facebook. I'm not after, like, a full committed relationship right now, since at the time I was purely focused on work, and I was like, I only have, like, every other Saturday or every other Sunday off, so I'm not spending that one day out of my 13 days of, like, working in a row seeing somebody that has all this baggage and, like, complexity. I'm not against that, but at that time in my life was not something I was seeking. So anyway, me and him actually ended up talking and like kind of dating for the next like 2-3 months, and then I had a full-on breakdown at work from working 13 days in a row continuously for the entire time over the pandemic and everything, and ended up quitting, moving to where I live now, which is near Lincoln, and doing drag more often and like trying to make a career out of this. So me and him were still like talking, meet, like that kind of thing. Obviously Cambridge is like 2.5 hours away from Lincoln. It was a commute, but I was like, you can come down and see me. I have my own place now. And oh, this was also an awkward thing. So I had 5 flatmates that I used to live with. We all used to have our own like bedroom and bathroom, but we used to share a living room and a kitchen. So obviously if somebody was coming over, you would hear that someone was coming over, or you'd see them in the kitchen when was getting drinks, that kind of thing. And yeah, you could tell my flatmates were like, who's that? Like, you're bringing around a strange man to our, like, property. Obviously, none of them even knew that I was gay since we didn't really communicate, and because it was, like, a lot of doctors and nurses on the site, it would cycle out, like, every, like, 2-3 months, so I never really got to know my flatmates, so it was always, like, a really awkward thing when I had someone over. But, yeah, me and him kind of was talking dating for the next, like, 2-3 months after he told me he was married and going through a divorce, all that kind of stuff. His children actually, like, watched my YouTube and everything, which is why I said I was never gonna, like, make this video as the story time, but he did actually block me, like, 2-3 months ago on WhatsApp, so I'm talking about it now. I don't give a fuck, Alan. I'm allowed to share my side of the story. So pretty much me and him were talking. I moved, like, 2 years go past. We're talking, like, every month, sending each other, like, the odd Snapchat, life update, that kind of thing. And the plan was he was going to come see me, like, once every 2-3 months, that kind of thing. We were going to be friends. And then, yeah, like, 2-3 months ago, I went to message him, ask him how he was doing after we hadn't spoke for, like, 2-3 weeks. And the message just didn't go through on WhatsApp. His display picture disappeared, and that was the last I heard of him. So then I was like, you know what? We're going to make that storytime video, and if he's still watching my YouTube, if his children are still watching my YouTube as well, that's what your dad's like. I did not know he was married. I did not know he had 2 children, which I am, just for the record, very anti-children. I am not a person that wants kids. I'm not someone that enjoys being around children at all, so kind of when he said that, he was already like a 6 out of 10 for me, and then when he said that, I was like, 3. We have no future romantic interest. Like, I am not being a stepmom to children. Like, I'm sorry, I might be like a MILF in, like, my head, but being an actual stepmother is just not my vibe. So, yeah, that is the story time for today's video. I did actually do a video, like, talking about this, like, last year, of what happened to me at university, like, 10 years ago, where a guy I was dating, I found out was married, and it just seems to be a recurrent trend and theme with me. Again, I have, seen married men knowing that they was married, and people in a straight relationship knowing they was in a straight relationship through Grindr. So watch yourself on Grindr. You can find some very people after specific interests. But yeah, I just thought it would be a fun story time today to tell you about the time that I found out he was married and had 2 kids just before our second date. And yeah, that entire night I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even reply to him. This is what makes it worse. On that Thursday when he told me, I didn't reply until the Friday to, like, ask Sam's opinion and, like, my friends at work to be like, what do I say? Since I didn't just want to be like, don't talk to me again. Since he didn't lie. Well, he did. He did say he was single, and Grindr said he was single, but he didn't, like, lie, and he was going through a divorce. Like, what would you have done in that situation? Like, I just kept him as a friend. Like, again, I was always after, like, extra friends, and there is not very many people that you can find that connect with you on, like, Dungeons and Dragons, playing board games, playing, like, role-playing games together. Like, we played through a good chunk of, like, Diablo 4 together, and, you know, it was a fun time. We shared a lot of similar interests. Oh, also some extra tea that made it, like, a little more juicy and a little bit more, like, should you really be lying? He was a police officer. That's right. I am with a police officer, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the story time and don't judge me too harshly. Funny fact, actually, he was the last person that I was intimate with, and it's been 3 years now. Literally, on the start of April was the last time that I saw him, and yeah, I have not been intimate with another man for 3 years. 3 full years. And I'm actually turning 30 in a couple of days, and I was like, now that when I turn 30, May, we are whoring ourselves out again. I'm getting back on Grindr, and I don't care if they're married or not. We are whoring ourselves out in our 30s. And, yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, what would you have done in that situation? Would you have seen him again? Would you have just straight up blocked him? Would it have even bothered you? Again, as soon as he mentioned kids, I was like, you're already not my ideal type. And you've just, like... I'm not saying people can't have baggage. I'm just saying when it brings along baggage of which I am the complete opposite to, that baggage ain't gonna mesh well with me, hun. So, yeah, it was a very strange ending to my kind of life and chapter in Cambridge, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to The Girl Next Door, with something more. I am planning to try and upload pretty much daily from my birthday next week. I turn 30 on April 23rd, and yeah, I want to try and do like 30 videos from that time. I know I've kind of been here, there and everywhere throughout April and just what's been going on. I did put a life update up like a week ago, but yeah, I just figured today was the day I tell you that story time and just kind of how that situation all went down and just why I've been single and like not intimate with a man in like 3 years, since it was a very weird situation and how it ended was very strange, and me leaving Cambridge with like really bad mental health, and then all that kind of stuff happened, and then as soon as he blocked me, I was just like, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna share my side of the story. So Alan, if you're watching this, and everyone else, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.